Hello everybody, welcome to Gunship Battle Total Warfare. I am Grave. So today what we're going to do is, I've made plenty of videos in the past about stars. However, the game has changed, added, and done a lot of new things with the star and the star system as a whole. So this is going to be a complete guide on stars, how to get them, what's the best ways, what the original way was like. So it's going to be a little long. And this is mostly for people that are really struggling with the get stars. I have a few of my lines that need help. So I'm just going to go over all the information, everything that I've learned, what not to do, what to do, everything. So let's start off with the past. So originally, you could star farm low level Noxus or Sea Wolf Mod 1s or Tiggeranda Mod 1s for advanced ships. And you could tier them up all the way until Virginia, or on the advanced side, all the way up into Nansen, FFGX, whatever. Then they changed the tier up system and added the EXP transfer system, and then they added the star fragments, and you can see the stars now, but you couldn't tier up ships no longer. So star farming was automatically dead right from that point, to which made it more difficult, at least so I had thought. So before the tier up system was switched out, you could literally just build a bunch of Noxes for 1 gold apiece, level it up to level 5 with 1 EXP token, break it at 5, put them both at level 10 for 2 EXP tokens, break it again, and then restart that process. And if you got a star, then you tiered it up to any ship that you wanted. Super easy, cheap, and you didn't have to use all of your EXP tokens, your iron. Now, so we're in the new era where you cannot tier up. You can transfer EXP, but that's totally different situation what we're talking about right now. Today we're talking about how to make stars. So at level 5, 2.6%. Level 10, 2.8%. Ship's got to be level at stage 0, which is level 5. You have to have the other ship at level 3 at least. That gives you the 2.6. Level 10, stage 1, is 2.8%. Must have a level 7 at least to break with that. The best cost to star ratio with percentage wise would be level 20, especially when you get into advanced tier 14s. You don't have a whole bunch of options as far as star farming. FFGX isn't really possible. That would be really expensive. So if you have a ship at level 20 ready to break stage 2 and you break it with a level 10 ship stage 2, you have a 3% chance to go ultimate. If it's at level 15, it jumps up to 4.5 or 4.8%. It'll show it down here in a second. And if it's at level 20, it'll be 7.7%, which is huge. As you can see in this video, I'm just doing an alt, and I just made a bunch of ships, and I ended up making 3 or 4 or 5, or I don't know how many. And that was all in one take. One night, just goofing off for the video. Prior to removing the tier up system, I believe there was only 2, maybe 3 stars on a ship. I never seen the third, but I think there might have been. I'm not sure. But anyway, after they got rid of the tier up system, they added stars 4. And then they just recently added 5. They added fragments, and now they just added dust. So there's a lot going on here. And I know what you're thinking. Grave, you're showing us how to make Nox stars. Yes, yes, I am. Um, just for reference and, cost management. I have two purposes for this, and I'll show you guys. The first one is you can still fragment farm Noxes and then use those to convert up to advanced fragments for your Typhoons and Virginias and whatnot. But anyway, only, I believe, Virginia and Tier 14s can go past level 60. So how do you get a 4-star Nox, or a Typhoon, or an Indy, or a Zumwalt, for that matter? So as you can see here, is I'm trying to get my Noxes that are starred to level 40, which is stage 5. Stage 5 is the most important break. That's where you get your 4th star, which means it'll go from stage 5 to stage 7. If it does not go ultimate on stage 5, it'll never be a star 4. Not including Virginias and FFGX, DDGX, and Borelli, because they can go up to level 70, 80, something like that. Ever since they raised the level cap for those ships. And I have yet to do it. I've been working on it. So I got about 20, 25 stage 5 stars ready to break, or in the process of, and hopefully get the 4-star. Which brings me to my next point. When you break a ship, it skips a stage and goes up 2 stages. Which doesn't seem like a lot until you're into the bigger ships, such as an FFGX that takes 50,000 first-class advanced blueprints to make a level 40. That saves you a lot of resources. So for me, if it's not a star, I don't put any effort into it. After it's level 20, it's not a star, it's used to break other stars that I already have. Because there's no point in investing resources and iron into non-stars, because non-stars are completely worthless. Even my 3 stars are completely freaking worthless. It's ridiculous. Also, it's important to remember that regular and advanced ships, stars, star fragments, and stardust is separate entities. So the only thing you can transfer to an advanced ship is EXP. Also, your Nox level 5 gives you 1 stardust. Level 10, I think, gave you 3. It pretty much doubles every stage and ship tier. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So that really helps as far as when you're going through a dry spell and you're not making stars. But I'll get back to that in a minute. So here's my level 50. The only way to get it to 4 stars is to go, it needs to go ultimate. I have a 4.7% chance. I wasn't spending iron on it. I'm just being cheap. Because it's just an ox. But it didn't go. So it's level 6. And it'll never be a 4-star. So it's dead. Which sucks. I had to switch to my ult because I didn't feel like leveling it. So it'll never be a 4-star, even though I have enough fragments to make it a 4-star. So, here we are at my base. And let's talk about fragments. Okay, so the first star, if you were to get rid of that first star on that Virginia, you get 16 fragments. The second star is worth 81 if you have the first and second one. Now, the second star would be a little less if you didn't have the first star. And yes, you can get the third star without the first and second, or you can get the fourth star without the first three. I wouldn't advise going to 4 stars without getting the first three, or any, for that matter, because that would just be a waste. Go with what the game gives you. You know what I mean? If the game gives you a star, work on that. If it doesn't, don't work on that. That's how I got that 2 star Borelli. I wasn't even trying for that. It just gave it to me. So now it's one of my top ships. So in order for this to go stage or 4 stars, I'm going to need 300 advanced fragments, and I get. Okay, so this is showing each star gives a percentage. The first one is 100, and then 30, and then 50, and the most important is 200 at 4 stars. So that 5th break to get to the 4th star at stage 7, so it goes from 5 to 7, is the most important star. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that is the king of stars. You want the first one, you want the 4th one, but you want the 4th one more, which is way harder. The fragments on the regular ships is ridiculous. So you can get 81, and you need a few thousand. Advanced ships isn't as bad, but they give you less. So the ratio for 1 star to tier it up to the next level, so say Nansen to Zumwalt or Zumwalt to FFGX, you would need 3 1-star Zumwalts to make 1 1-star FFGX or DDGX. I would try to get to at least 2 stars before you even break down of 1 star. It's just not worth it. But anyway, the new thing they added, the dust. As you get higher levels and higher tiers, and your stars don't break, you get a lot of dust. So, and I'll show you here in a minute how much you can get. And I wish I knew this like the night that it came out, because I instantly made two stars with the dust they gave me when that maintenance came out for the dust. And I didn't know at the time that when you break ships and they don't go star, you get more dust. So the ability to get Virginias and tier 14s to 4 stars just got a little bit easier. So you have 3 ways to get stars now. One is to break the ships within a reasonable level of each other. Level 20 and 20 is the most common one I get. I wouldn't say the most beneficial, but it's most common and easiest and cheapest resource wise. The other way is the fragment farm, which is pretty much star farming but without the tearing up. And you get to 1 or 2 stars, decommission, EXP transfer, whatever. Get the fragments, convert those up to the ship you want. And lastly, and not least, is stardust. And if you use all 3 of these combined, getting stars is going to be really easy, because I got 124,000 stardust from my Virginia going tier 7. Didn't go 4-star, but that's okay. So that, I think that was equivalent to about 5 fragments. 2 things though, real quick, about using your fragments and your stardust to make stars. One is it doesn't increase the stage like a normal ultimate would, so you're gonna have to break it just as many times as a non-star. And you do not want to add fragments to a ship to make it a star that you end up using that as, well, food for another star to break. For example, don't make an FFGX a star and then immediately break that ship with a bigger ship that's already starred, because then you just wasted your fragments. And yeah, I learned that the hard way, because it doesn't bump up the stage. You're just leaving at that stage. So if you make it a star at stage 5, it's still going to be a 1 star at stage 5. And you got to break it. And when we're talking about advanced ships here, that's a lot of first class blueprints and fragments. So you want to have a goal on what ship you want, save up the stars for it, or the fragments and the dust, turn it into fragments, and then apply that to the star, whether it's the second, third, or fourth. But I would only do that once you know for sure that's the ship you're going to be using, because I was making a star. I'm sorry, I had a star. I had a double star already made, and I needed to break it. So I made another FFGX, got it to level 30, needed to go one more stage. That went ultimate. It skipped the stage I needed, so I couldn't break that, so I had to make another one. Same thing happened again. So now I have 3, and I can either buy some more first class blueprints, build another 24 ships, get them up to level 40, or I could just break one of those stars, which I did because it happened twice in a row, which gave me enough fragments to make another star, which I did, and then realized I got to use that to break this other ship. So definitely save them for a much higher purpose. Now, it's okay to ship EXP to get to the levels you need, but just remember, having 2 level 60s and breaking a star with a star is... I wouldn't advise breaking stars with stars. It's way too much. Resource-wise, it's not worth it. Stars are rare, and I would definitely keep those over the non-stars. But sometimes you get to a point where you got no non-stars, and then you got to go back and remake a bunch, which is currently where I'm at, so that I can break all my stage 5s to hopefully get a stage 4. So, just remember, you gotta look into the future a little bit just to see where your ships are gonna be at, which ships are gonna be broken, and where you're gonna place the fragments and where. So definitely just star fragment farm lower levels for fragments. More stars, the more fragments. And keep leveling up your main ships for the dust. Combine the two to get a bunch of fragments to make yourself 2, 3, 4 stars. Whatever your goal is, it's definitely achievable. It takes time. People think I get really lucky with stars, but no, I've built like 6,000 ships and I've only gotten like 43 stars right now. So, I mean, it's hard. I only got a 3 star. And there's 5. So, I'm not even like a star god or anything anymore. I'm really not. It's hard. Most of it's going to be luck and a lot of patience. So, I hope this helps. There's a lot that goes into it. So, if you're level 30, level 31, and you don't have many stars, that's okay. I had 1 star at level 31. So you can get them quick. And I think it's better to kind of wait until you get the higher tiers anyway, because the ratio is just really awful. So I think I covered everything, at least I hope. So that's all I got for today. Alright, Grave out. Thanks, guys.